Tried my best to kind of parse the multiple issues with what he said. And I started by admitting that I'm not a fan of the passport bro movement. I never have been. However, a lot of the conversations that categorize what the passport bro movement is are disingenuous and they're hollow. A lot of it is actually rooted in white supremacist assumptions of the third world. A lot of it is rooted in the glorification of credentialism. And a lot of it is rooted in the demonizing of men, particularly black men. I'm a black man, but I'm Nigerian. There is no man on this planet, my people included, who is more accommodating to women than American black men. That is an absolute fact. And it's a good thing and a bad thing in a way. There's no man on this planet who has less expectations for his woman than the American black man. The idea that the American black woman has a master's degree means she's smarter than the foreign black woman who might have a third grade education or the equivalent of a third grade education is rooted in a colonialized mindset of what intelligence is, which is credentialism, right? You checked more boxes. What you don't take into account is this lady with the fourth grade education has been running a business since she was 12. This lady with the fourth grade education speaks 3 to 4 different languages. This lady with the fourth grade education works 60 hours a week, but still finds time to cook. She doesn't even have a family yet, to cook for her father, to help her mother with housework, to look after her brothers and sisters. So when we start looking at like, and again, I'm not even a passport bro, but when we start looking at it like, punch for punch, like American women, no offense, cannot stand up next to foreign women. The best looking women on this planet are not in the United States. The most intelligent women on this planet are not in the United States. The most feminine women on this planet are not in the United States. But what the United States has a monopoly on is branding, is aesthetics, is play. I mean, my trip to Colombia, the
I'm a
lady
PhD.
working at the airport was just as, if not
I'm a
badder,
PhD.
than a Miami IG model. She doesn't have L'Oreal. She doesn't have Fenty. She doesn't have any of the extra stuff to enhance things further. But just like raw waking up out the bed is just like we talk about Africa. It's full of raw materials. So as black folks in particular, like we got to be more sophisticated about talking about these things because you talk long enough and you start sounding like a white man, just like Mouse, who fancies himself as pro black and pro woman. But his initial assumption of women who are not American were uneducated, gullible, and vulnerable, which is nothing further from the truth, particularly when you consider how women overseas are finessing the hell out of some of these passport bros who go over there and try to act stupid. This assumption, again, that anything bad that happens is done by men and black men in particular is ignorant at best and just like idiotic at worst. Because the reality of what's actually happening, particularly for the brothers who bring them back, is they're giving them a better life. Because you can't tell me he brought a woman from a third world country and is now repressing her sexuality. What the hell do you think was happening in her country? You can't tell me a man who brought her from a third world country is now, not allowing her to move around or do certain things, own property. What do you think was happening in her country? So again, like we have to be more sophisticated because oftentimes we're so like gung ho about making a point that we end up just saying shit that doesn't really make sense upon further investigation. And what you realize is just regurgitated nonsense of passport bros are this and women are not really passport bros. He didn't cite one study to compare. Okay, in 2020, 100,000 black men went to South America and 50,000 black women went to South America, what you'll actually find is black women are traveling more than we are. That's what you'll find. What you really just admitted subconsciously, which is even more relevant, is the fact that you believe that the best things in this world, including the best intellects, come out of the West simply because that's what they told you. Because a lot of like Nigerian brothers like myself, when we reach a certain level of success or a certain level of or a certain age, what we'll do is we'll actually go back home and have a marriage, a wife arranged for us, or even like by proxy. Like while we're still here, we'll have somebody arrange a nice young a lady for us back home. I'm not even a fan of that.
For some reason, Americans think that anybody's not American is, eating, living foot to mouth, or you know what I'm saying, or is shocked that they have running water, electricity in their homes for some reason. And it's, again, like Buddy said, it's tied to like that white supremacy shit that, runs rampant in our culture. So I don't see an issue with anything that he said. It's not, he's not wrong, and then it's really hard to argue against it because then you can support what he's saying with facts and just not your opinions, and so you could tell he was unbiased because most folks in the chat don't even know if he was for or against passport bros. That's how you know he was unbiased.
I think there's a couple things that passport bros could do better. One, when you come back talking shit about the women here domestically, you're doing yourself a disservice because now you're just creating tension. Two, I think we got to be a lot more careful. A lot of us are reckless. You going down to places you're not familiar with, raw diggity, that's crazy. You probably should protect yourself, right? Thirdly, anytime that I move around in a foreign country, I'm hanging out with a native. Or from a lot of these places, you can hire legitimate security like an officer. You know what I'm saying? So you probably want to do that just so you won't get not just finessed, but robbed. Or, worse yet, who knows? Because we see a lot of dudes, they get drugged, finessed, robbed by the women or set up by the dudes. So I think you should know your surroundings. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, don't go off the tourist site. That's another thing. And, you still got to vet these women. You can't expect every single one of these women to go into a situation in good faith. That's not always going to happen. Some people have nefarious intent, and it's going to take time to vet them, right? If you were lame over here, women can sense that naturally. You're going over there thinking that these women are stupid, but they can smell a lame too. And you know how women are. If they feel like they can push something, you don't have any boundaries, then many times women will exceed those boundaries. Well, just keep pushing until you stop them. So that's what I would say. Just be very careful about how you move when you out in these foreign countries.
Yeah, I still think even if you go over there, you should still relatively date within your league to some degree. Like, don't, if you ugly, don't go for the baddest bitch. Like, go for, just they'll be a little bit. They all gonna be a little bit more cooperative. Just go for like something that's a little bit better than what you normally get, and she gonna be more cooperative most likely than the girls you used to, cause she ain't probably she ain't used to a guy with an American. They love Americans, so.
And stop going to the club trying to get women. All of those girls are selling pussy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to go over there and meet someone organically, go to the gym. If you go to a gym in the DR, Colombia, Costa Rica, any of those countries, if you go in a gym, you're going to think that you walked into a Victoria's Secret video shoot because they all dressed in the same gym clothes that like fat American women like to walk around in because they're comfortable, but they have the bodies for it. And when you go in there, they're very, very friendly, and you're going to stand out because you're an American that's in the country that still goes to the gym. Like, that is the easiest way to go make friends and meet people that you can network with, build, and have around outside of the girls who are going to the club that are going to tell you $100 and they'll come stay with you for the weekend. You can go meet somebody you can actually hang out with, talk to. They can show you around because of the environment that you met them in. It's not difficult to go over there and be successful.
If I had to speak on this a little bit, man, I think if it's more challenging in the West or in America, then I think this is where you get the most experience, the better experience. Because if you could deal with the women here, then once you go over there, it should just be light work. You should be able to vet there just as much as you can vet here in America. I mean, I don't know. When people run away, I always frown upon when women move from state to state looking for men. I know the culture is different and upbringing may be different, but there are some good men and good women within them states. But you just may find. Go ahead. What you about to say, Willie?
A lot of women who move from state to state is because they done fucked a bunch of men in that state. The same way a bunch of women who moved from Dallas to Houston, they got ran through in Houston and then run to Dallas like it's a whole new state. Like they're not just doing that for men. They're doing it because they can get a new reputation, and then saying they don't have to worry about running into any event they go to. Is 10 dicks they set on inside that venue. That's what happens more than anything else, I would bet.
Okay. But yeah, so
say real quick. I think whenever you give somebody leverage, then they're like more likely to misbehave. So I think that in the West, like societal standards, the legal system, it gives women just a lot of leverage. So if they have that perceived leverage, or they feel like they can control the situation, and that's how they tend to act, and they tend to misbehave. Whereas when you go overseas and you have, these women who have very little leverage over you, and it's very transactional, it's easy, and you get what you want. So I think that's like a big thing here. Women are gonna continue to use that leverage, take guys for whatever they have if they leave a relationship, or only get into relationships for like financial reasons.
Yeah, there was somebody on a podcast said it the other day. You never really met a woman until she has leverage on you, and I think you hit the nail on the head with that, because if you just look at this country in itself, the main reason why females behave the way they do now and did not before is because of the leverage that they were given. That's just here. If you look 50 years ago, before this version of feminism and all these weird ass laws to just ruin men's lives, women didn't behave like that. You got men scared to leave a woman because it's going to destroy their lives, right, or destroy them financially and strip the kids from it. And when you look at it like that, it's like, damn, that's just what it is with these women and their damn leverage. So if you take that, goes back to what I was saying with the the visa shit. It is what it is. Females are only going to do what they're allowed to do, and I don't believe in like the whole control thing. If a female ever didn't want to be with me, man, yeah, go ahead. But I do believe that sometimes when if you give anyone too much power, then they're likely to abuse it.
The only 3 ways a woman can have leverage on a man is, 1, him having a tender dick, she having his baby, or having a marriage certificate. And until you are in one of those 3 positions, you'll never know the woman you're with. You'll never know her.
Or you liking a woman more than she like you?
That's tender dick, bro. I just wrapped that all up into one thing.
Do you guys think that those got the passport bros that are going over there, bringing women back, do you think that they are destroying those women's lives?
It's all net positive for them women. All net positive.
Oh, they're only getting the positive from it. They get to come from a third world country to the land of the free, as we call it, right? And then they get those things that they dreamed of, that their family want. They can go and get a job. They can leave him once they're here, go and get a job, and then send money back to that family that's going to help them out. They have an opportunity. That's the whole point. That's the play, is to get with an American man and get over here. So regardless of, how it turns out, they have the opportunity to make something of themselves that they probably wouldn't have had that same opportunity if they stayed, in their home country.
You can't go from third world country to first world country and then say that I made your life worse or I destroyed your life when I took you from a 3 to a 1. Now, if you act up and I send your ass back, then you could say that I destroyed your life. But the opposite, if I go over there and get a woman and bring her back over here, her life is 100 times better than it was in her country, and I'm not gonna make her fuck nobody but me. So it's not like I'm saying she's not selling pussy anymore. She's not having to go out, get dolled up, be a bottle girl, all of that, that obfuscated sex work. All she has to do is tend to me. And then she gets whatever lifestyle, whatever she wants in a lifestyle. Like, that's crazy.
And you're the most popular.
Are they converting prostitutes? Why you say she
I
not
was
selling
going
pussy?
to ask you about that.
Because I would say that the majority of those women over there that get brought back are the ones that have sold or were selling pussy. And they just found someone who liked it. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to bring her back. Like, I mean,
Damn.
That's not uncommon. If you go to those countries, bro, I'm telling you, every woman that makes eye contact with you, which is going to be most of them, you can fuck for a certain price. It's just
do these women
cheaper than in America.
You got to go for the ones that don't make eye contact with you.
That's what I was going to ask. So do these women really rock with these dudes, or is it just
no
to a better life?
They want the better life, so they willing.
They
to
rock
slip
with them as much as a woman here rocks with a millionaire.
These niggas go over there, and these
Get
women
what
are
you
like,
can
you know
get
what?
out of them.
This dude, if all I gotta do to get a plane ticket to America and a home and a roof over my head is suck one dick when I've been sucking 10 a weekend to just pay my rent, it's just, I'm saying, common sense.
Okay, so
I think hold on. I think we're mischaracterizing the women. I don't think there's it's that ridiculous. I think that there are absolutely a bunch of prostitutes because that's the, I guess they're in survival mode, right? But I can't say that it's the majority of them that'll mess with an American. Some, you know what I'm saying? And to say that they don't love you at all, I mean, I don't know about that either. Like, I mean, I've interviewed some of these women and they're like, they would say some of the things that they don't like. Like, well,
the ones that
some
are
of these
here,
dudes are abusive. No, the ones that are there.
I think that y'all got to remember, like, having a woman that like you for you is a privilege. Like, that's a privilege. Like, it's a lot of guys out here that got to pay for it, and that's cool. You got to pay for it. You got to do all types of cool. But like, if you can get you a woman from overseas and it's just easier, it is what it is. Having a woman who really like you and rock for you and like going to be with you no matter what, that's a privilege. Everybody don't get to, they don't experience that.
So do the passport bros know? And Trey, I guess Trey, if you might have a different perspective, do the passport bros know that these women don't really rock with them like that, and they just cool with the transactional of it?
We had a conversation, I guess, a couple months ago about that. Like, if you really care if a woman likes you or not, right, or loves you or not, because you can't ever really tell. You can only expect her to do certain things, right? You expect a certain amount of respect, you expect a certain amount of things done, but can you ever truly tell? No. You could really think so. But another autonomous human being, you never really know. So once you get past that part of it, then it's really not that difficult. But I would say that some of them from there would love you as much as a woman would over here, whatever that looks like, right? So, and you got to understand that some of the cultures in these places, right? It's not like they're just raising hoes. There are some places where people are literally selling their children, right? But that's not the majority. We can't say that that's the majority. A lot of people are into their family. They're into, dual parent households and things like that. So some of these people there are more of them in many instances that are growing up with fathers who are giving them some type of structure and discipline, right? And some of these women are doing legitimate jobs, right? There's plenty of women who just go to work every day. We can't say that most of the women in the third world countries are prostitutes. That's like crazy. Like that would be crazy.
I have a question, just for a slight pushback. When was the last time you went to one of these countries?
February.
All right. So while you were there,
You're a wild boy, Trev.
While you were there, would you say that the majority of women that you saw you couldn't get for a fee? We're talking about you specifically. So you got to use the Trev privilege. You got to use, you know what I'm saying, 6'10", you know what I'm saying, 290 pounds. You got to use all of that shit.
We ain't all that. Look,
you got to use it all though.
Well, let's keep it G then. If we're doing that for real, then we already know it ain't no fee.
Exactly.
If that's the case.
So right now, you think the average nigga over there can't get the girls to go for a fee?
I can't say the average person.
I'm not gonna call a nigga average.
This is what I'm gonna say. For the few places that I went, in modern history, right? I'm going to say that there are sections where there's a lot of that, right? Like, you know, there's the Medellins, there's shit like that where there's places, right, where that is rampant in the motherfucker all day. But that's one small city or one small part of town where there's a highly concentrated amount of them. Just like, you know, Bronx had the whole joint where we used to race at, or you know, Vegas got their little side that's not far from the Strip. You know what I'm saying? So it's highly concentrated pockets of places where you'll find most of those joints. But the rest of the world is going to work. They doing like 60 hours. They struggling.
But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about the places where the passport bros frequent. The majority of those women there are cannibalizing the passport.
Oh, well, if you talk about the dudes who's just going into the
that's
pockets,
what I was talking about.
Then that's completely different.
I'm not talking about
completely different. Those pockets.
Talking about the
those
workforce.
Pockets. Yeah, that's different. That's not how I received it, and I think other people received it the other way too, where they felt like the majority of the women in general. But yes, you're absolutely right. If you're talking about the pockets, those pockets, it's a hot zone. That's just I would never go there to. Why would you go there to fish for a wife? That's absurd. If that's what Catch is doing.
I'm playing the right one, so let me take this one off of it.
Huh? How are you talking to your mouth ain't moving, nigga? You a ventriloquist?
I'm so confused. God, I'm confused like a mother. Hold on.
What's up, Marcus?
I thought that the passport bros was leaving America to find traditional, good, low body count women. Then they going over there and they marrying the prostitutes. Bro, y'all is everywhere.
That's wild. So I say this too. I know some dudes who were doing it, and none of those women they picked.
Turns to right. They got traditional values, and they would never suck dicks and be hoes like how the women is in the. Golly.
So I got a couple homies that I know personally, and I know how they got their women. Right? They picked like nerds and women out of villages and shit like that have nothing to do with those city girls, those bar girls, none of that. It ain't that. So the dude, at least the ones that I know a few, they did not source their women from those hot pockets. They sourced their women from like little villages and shit like that, where it's like, okay, they might be walking around with no shoes or whatever, but they did have traditional values and they were not smutting it out, and their body counts are like between 1 or 2 or, you know, at the most 3, some shit like that, not like 50.
Yeah, Marcus, I think everybody go over there for different reasons. We can't like put them, you know, and every nigga's lame level is different, right? If you just not getting no ass, like, I'm going to get some ass. Like, I ain't about to, you know, I ain't about to be picky, but if you got options over here, you probably going over there trying to find you a Cinderella, trying to find you a beautiful woman who just is simple, and she wants a man to take care of her and her lineage and her family and all that, and that's all you want. So I think it's different.
So if I'm a man that's watching this show, the thing I can take away is, if I want to get a wife, I need to make sure she's barefoot in the village. But if I want to get some pussy, I go to where all the hoes is at. Is that what y'all saying?
Yeah, depending on what you're looking for, right? Just stay away from the hot pockets. So there are some women down there that are doctors. There are some women down there that are doing. There's all different types of women. Just like we have every type, from like the filthy rich to the filthy here. They have that too. And you got to understand, a lot of these third world countries, some of them get into the money. But if I were going to say what type you should look for, your average everyday girl that goes to work that's doing like 60 hours a week. You are gonna make her life so much easier. She's gonna appreciate the shit out of you. And to be honest, I can't say for sure because like I said earlier, you never really know what's on a woman's mind. But what I will say is that they definitely know how to project like they feeling you, right? And they could appreciate your energy. Just like how you would probably a dude who ain't getting no burn over here, right? They go over there and then they get a woman. They fall in love. They don't be like, oh, these dudes probably just out to get. No, they literally be sometimes even wife and hoes for no reason, right? They fall in love, or like Will say, TD. That's what they are. So they're not going into the situation thinking like, oh, I'm about to take advantage of this joint. They're like, damn, I love this woman. It's a breath of fresh air. Look at what all she's doing. It's the same thing. They're like, damn, this guy's so nice. He's so handsome. Like I've talked to, like, let's just say the last place that I've been was the Philippines as far as leaving the country. And a lot of them, what they were saying was the reason they loved black men because they said we are more affectionate. We love differently. We walk different. We talk different. They sometimes like your color. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that you different. It's something different. So it's a different type of energy. And they also said that a lot of their men are abusive and drink all damn day. I got that report a lot. So it is what it is. You coming over there with new energy, and it's sometimes it will attract people for whatever reason.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I feel like, to be honest, dating, anywhere you're dating is exactly the same. Like, women are hypergamous, so they're always going to be looking for that next best thing. It's just more expensive. If you're a lane, to date in the West is going to be more expensive for you than to date overseas, but you could still find a baddie that'll give you all the attention if your money right. If your money's right, then she will go, and they will all go for a price, even in America, the same way they do overseas. And I mean, I know none of you guys should be surprised by that statement, because I just feel like you could go to any club. Like you're saying, you could go on a strip in Thailand or Punta Cana or wherever. You could go to a club here, and if your money's right, you could pick which one you want for the night. Like, to be honest.
This is my question for y'all. Do y'all think, at least if you go to one of these countries and you provide the woman with the basic things that she asks you for, do you think that she will play her part and act right? Because I think the thing in America that men are complaining about is they give the woman everything that they're asking for, right? The basic things they're asking for, and they don't play their part and they don't act right. So do y'all think that's like, what do y'all think?
I think that it's going to be different for every situation, right? Just like if you were going to vet a woman over here, you would want somebody who had a good father figure, right? Some masculine energy in the house to provide that structure and discipline. There's going to be different people. So what you got to understand is that even when you go there, and the women who were just married to another native, they are cooking for the dude every day. They washing clothes, they taking care of them the same way they would you. And this guy don't really have nothing but the respect that just because he's a man, they respect him and they do what they were taught to do. And generationally, that's just what's been passed down to them. They'll have that type of perspective. So, I mean, I think the most important thing to maintain a woman is her level of attraction to you. As long as it's not your money. Because a woman could easily separate your money from you. But if she has a high level of attraction to you from something that you can actually maintain aside from money, she's always going to throw rules out the window for you. She's always going to make sure that you're good.
Do the prostitutes be having like good family values?
Not usually.
Willie, we need you for this one.
No, you don't, because I ain't never in my life paid for pussy. But what I've heard is that your girl can go from sucking dick to kissing her daddy in the mouth when she go home and take a shower after the club.
So do you consider that the good values or no?
I consider that they understand, they've adapted to their economy and understand that, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And the dad is just proud of his daughter for bringing money in the house that,
So now the dad in on it, like, nigga.
Yeah.
That's not commonplace. Most females who were into that are on their own. They'll live with a bunch of roommates and shit like that, like a whole bunch of other hoes. That's how that go.
Oh,
Do y'all question? Right? How many times have y'all ever met a woman who couldn't cook?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
What are the
Yes.
chances that you go to a third world country and an adult woman can't cook?
The chances you come into a first world country like America and finding a woman who's never been ran through and also loves man and had a daddy.
It's possible. Again, I interviewed one. So she told me she literally couldn't cook. I couldn't believe what the fuck she was
A
saying.
girl over in another third world country?
I'm gonna bring the video to the chat.
I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying, what are the chances that a woman, like, it's commonplace for us to go buy food every day, like,
right?
You go buy food every day, buy things that we just heat up and all this type of stuff. I'm just trying to imagine, like, how often are they doing that in other countries, or are they just like, yo, you have to cook to eat, you have to clean, or we don't, things like that. So.
Anybody?
What was the question? I kind of walked off for a second. What was the question?
You want to say the question again?
I was asking, what are the have you ever met a girl here who can't cook? Most guys say yeah, obviously, but I was asking, what are the chances that you go to a third world country and women that you are meeting can't cook?
Oh, I think it's slim. I think it's slim
because they're not eating out like we are over there.
But it's not economical to eat out every day. You know what I'm saying? So most women will know how to cook. And it's part of it. As long as they didn't grow up in a really, really terrible situation, then it's commonplace for you to know how to cook. It's necessary.
What do y'all think are the chances that you meet a woman who says, yo, I don't want to have kids, just want to live my life for a little bit, like I just want to kind of do me? Like, what do you think of the chances that we finding women like that over there? Like,
I'll be honest with you. From the people that I know doing that, they on what you on.
So whatever you on,
no matter whatever you want, they on. That's no bullshit. No bullshit. I'm telling you, like, no, I couldn't. I had to like see it for myself because I was flabbergasted when I first saw how this was going down. They on what you on. So if you like, hey, Lam, you know what? I'm not having any kids. They're like, okay, daddy, that's it. So
that's a positive. You're a man.
But if you want kids, you say I want 10 kids. They're like, okay, daddy, we better start now. You feel me? So that's just what I've heard, and I've heard it from women's mouths. So
shit, I heard that. Shit, they say that in America. I'm on what you on.
That's because you get bitches, JR.
Look, don't put that out there, man. I'm not talking about nothing about me. I'm just talking about just in general.
Hey, Trev, I got a question for you. Hey, Trev.
Yo.
How does a passport, bro? Okay, let's go with the assumption that most of these women in the other countries culturally fit what the guys from here are looking for, right? How does he vet them against each other?
Oh, like you mean between choosing between those women?
Between those women, right? If it's a plethora of them, how do I know which one?
It's actually tough because it's all about preference at that point. Having too many options is a good problem to have, right? So it's not to say like, damn, there's too many fucking women out here. It's not a bad thing. If you got the pick of the liquor, you know what I'm saying? that's not a bad problem to have. So you could become superficial. You know what I'm saying? You could be like, all right, well, she got more of a grip, or you could be like, you know what? She know how to make the food that I like better. Like you just start whatever is more important to you at that point. You just go with that. Or you just be like, I don't have to choose just one. Because that's another situation that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, if you're gonna go over there, I'm not saying the average dudes, but like we'll say the Trevs and the M Whites, you know, the niggas that's 7 feet tall. Like
I ain't nobody.
They go over there, bro. Like y'all, you can go get a friend group that is willing to treat you like you're a timeshare and not have a problem with it and still be friends and all take turns doing stuff for you. It's tough, bro. I just feel like it's gonna be tough for like regular women to keep up now that, you know what I'm saying, trips to getting cheap in Frontier and Spirit, flying to all the passport bro locations. I feel like the divorce rate or the rate of like women who are been 50 years old and not married is gonna probably double in the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's what messed it up. Them chips is cheap, and don't fuck around and get an Airbnb out there. That shit,
No,
boy.
listen,
Ooh, super cheap.
Yeah. Anyway, that Frontier all you can fly past, and you see,
They got it all you could.
Yeah, but it's Frontier, bro. It's still Frontier. So
I don't
Trev,
like Frontier though, bro.
You're not a Frontier nigga. So I'm not.
I just found that out.
This is for the Groupon crowd. But like,
oh my God.
all you can fly past. Look and see where Frontier fly. It's just like, come on, bro. You know what these dudes is doing? They probably getting all you can fly past, paying $200 for some bags, and going down there every weekend.
Like, crazy.
Yeah.